Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got quite a non-bingo rack. And I don't think I have any 8s with this rack, even with the right floater. So I'll be looking to get rid of the V and the W, preferably both of them on the same move. Now I think Bund takes an E on the end, I may be mistaken. But I can play Wive to take advantage of that, if it's good. It is, but I have only the one vowel now, so not a great rack. There is this triple letter square, so clad available in column 10, although that does take a Y in front, so it could be dangerous. Kip takes an E, P and S after it. Wive takes a D. So I could play Dam or Dam, but that's opening up column 15, slightly dangerous. But I don't really want to leave myself with 4 consonants. So I can play Klem for 18, leaving just the 3. Still just the one vowel. I could sort that out with Bland, where it to play. I've still got a D for Wived, but with only one vowel it's difficult to take advantage of that without opening up column 15, especially when you've, well, the one vowel means that you're really looking to play off 4 tiles. And I can't do that without opening up column 15 with this rack. Now my A goes underneath AB, as does my B. So do I have a 4-letter play ending in B? I don't think I do. Wive takes an S in front, so row D, quite a hot lane, especially with all the S's and blanks out there. Just wondering if I've got to play through AB, but I'm not seeing one. So I'm really dependent on my opponent providing something. Only an E goes after the R, so he doesn't. Fortunately for me, he's taken out that S hook. Now, there are a couple of tiles which go in front of rep. C does. P does. Well, P does, and I think it's creps plural, but not singular. Now, is Bunded good? I think it is. So I could play down column 12, but I think the most I can do is Dant, and that takes an S. So what about playing Blad? It's not splitting up the ends, but it is playing off 4 tiles and not providing very much. I'm going with this. Well, slightly better. I have a second vowel to play with. I have infant on my rack, which would get rid of 2 of the ends. Quite a tight board, which is fine by me since I don't have a bingo-y rack. And I have no candidate plays at the moment. And no E for going after the R. Klem is quite blocky in terms of the top left of the board. But since I'm behind, since I've got a non-bingo-y rack rather, I'm content for the board to be blocked. So at the moment I'm seeing nothing at all to do with my rack, but I think that's partly a reflection of the board. I have no hooks for Wive or Bund. Blad takes an E after it, I don't have one. So I'm rather depending on the generosity of my opponent to have a play here. Mud only takes an S after it. Now, what about a play in column 5? Okay, so opponents played just 19 points, which is good. I have Finnan on my rack, but nowhere to play it. Wow, I'm wondering if I should change. Do I have anything beginning with the G? I don't, but I do have Fagin. Let me see what this scores. 13 points, keeping N, N, T, and opening up a good lane in column 14. I don't think that's clearly better than changing, so I think I will change. And I'll keep ANT, that's quite a good 3-letter set. And that's a pretty atrocious pickup. But the board is still tight, and I trail by just the single point. And still no E for putting next to the R, otherwise that would be an easy way to score 20-odd points. So, what is available on the board at the moment? Not very much, and there is though, because an A can go between C and B, so I could play Tata, T-A-A-T-A, for the mid-20s. And if that's blocked, I could play Gaunt down from the G, keeping Tat, which isn't terrible. I've just recorded a game which was really good, and I won handsomely, and the microphone malfunctioned, so all of that game had to be jettisoned, which was a great shame. And apologies to my opponent Steam for the game not being available on YouTube, though since he lost, maybe he's glad. So do I have a play in row H which burns the U and 2 A's? Can't see one. Opponent taking a while with this move, and he might have quite a good rack. He only played off 3 tiles, and he opened up a bingo lane for bingos ending in S. And none of the blanks or S's have been played so far, so he could have a good rack. Wow, look at that. 84 points, and he's gone in the spot which I had been coveting. So that's a great start for my opponent. I could play Hour for 12, keeping AN double T. Is there a way of scoring more? Hour and Carber. Doesn't feel great. Can I do better? I have Natura through the R, but that doesn't score very much. Mind you, Hour only scores 12. Still 2 L's to come, so I'm reluctant to play Hour and Carber. And it's only 10 points. This is frustrating, having changed last turn and got 0 points. I'm now contemplating scoring not much more. So, what about playing Cabana? It's 18 points. I'm keeping the U, but it's a fairly balanced rack. I'm going with this. Wow, a ton of vowels. Not great at all. So I could well be looking at playing AUE or EAU. And AUE plays in the spot that I contemplated for hour. Good score for my opponent. 12 points. And it's opening the board, but the board was open because Doug takes an S. So let me take this back. Do I have something in column 13? I now do have an E. Well, AUE not better than in this spot above Doug. Can't use the U with the Q to good effect. I think I will play over here for 12. Another rack heavy with duplicates and triplicates and no scoring tiles, so grim stuff. However, I've opened the board up to the right, although I've taken out that S lane. The E is always a useful floater, except when you've got 3 of them on your rack. The left and the side of the board has floaters, and there's the N of Cabanas. And Rep taking a P in front with 1 P to come. So how to sort this rack out? I'd like to play off a couple of E's and the T, so a play of TEE somewhere, which I can do up here for 14 points, and I'm only taking out the P hook, so... Well, can I do better than that? What about playing teen? 26 points. Teen takes a C in front. I think I'll go with this for the extra score. Well, a slightly better rack, and I do have a scoring tile. It's still vowel heavy, and so the vowels on the board not much good to me. What about the N? I have the anti-prefix. Not seeing anything with the N, or the F, or the R. So where can I play my M for score? I do have an I for going underneath the Q. Wow, I could play omit. That would be an interesting play. Opening up column 1 and row O. And that stays available. I think I'd like to do this. I'm behind, so I want to introduce some volatility, so omit for 27. I draw the X. Git takes an E. Can't see a 5-letter play beginning with E and using the X. Just the 30 points for my opponent, and he burns an S. Rex is good, so I could play text for 41 points, a good score. Pretty awful rackly, but since I have vowel heavy racks earlier, if I draw 4 consonants, I could have a balanced rack. I don't, but I draw a blank, which gives me hope. I'm just 60 points behind. The hope is for future turns, not this one. This may be another rack worth changing on, or I could play double EW. Still 4 E's to come. Wow, opponents played just the 1 E in rep. 26 points for EEW, keeping AAU blank. Probably worth doing. But what if that spot is taken? I don't have to get rid of the W, but I do need to split up W and U, so another play of AUE rather, would achieve that. But it's not going to score very much, so if I'm doing it, I'd like to open the board up or not be closing the board down. So I could do that. I could play AUE and Aga, opening up row K. It wouldn't score very much, so my preference would be EEW, despite the poor rack leave. I thought for a moment I had unaware, but I'm one tile away from that. Mud just taking the S, so I don't have anything overlapping underneath Bladey. Opponent takes my spot, only scores 18 points, burns the S, so could well have the remaining S. Now, if I play AUE, although I'm opening row K, I'm taking out the floating E of AUE, which could prove useful. So I could play a wheel for 10 points, but that's providing really easy scoring opportunities for my opponent. So it'd be nice to do something a bit better. And opponent could have that last S, but I've got the blank. And that means I think there is some advantage in terms of opening up this 7-letter lane ending in S. So AUE for 9. More vowels. But there could be a bingo here. Now, do I have... Wow. Is Where Room good through this R? Wow, 63 points for my opponent. Huge score. Let me just check Where Room. It's good. So I do have a bingo in column 3, but could well be too far behind to catch my opponent. Now, do I have a play in row O ending in N? Can't see one. What about a play ending in F? So a play perhaps ending in roof or proof. Not seeing such a play. 11 minutes on my clock. So I'm going with Where Room for 62. I still trail by 90, so I'm in a pretty grim shape. F and P lack synergy. That was a nice play for my opponent, Enjoin. So instead of AUE, I probably should have played EAU. I don't think Unjoin is good. It's not, so perhaps a crucial error there. Fewer plays beginning with U than J. "13 tiles in the bag, so I'm not looking to play really quickly. 27 points for my opponent. So I could play FAP down here for 22, keeping a decent rack leave. Neither F nor P particularly bingo-y, although P better than F. 11 minutes on my clock. Is there something which scores better? And what about in column 15? Well, I think the best I can see there is Pain for about 30 points, but that's leaving a very poor rack. The trouble with FAP is that it invites my opponent to just play next to Enjoin and take out all the bingo lanes on the board. Now, Flay is good, so maybe I've got a... So what about playing Daft? 26 points. I'm opening a new bingo lane. I'm 100 points behind, so I think I need to do something like this to have it any hope. I'm going with this. Well, I don't have a bingo here. Through a D, I would have Oedipian. Six tiles in the bag. Not particularly bingo-y. But I suspect a bingo is not going to be enough for me to win this game. My P can go next to the O of Wareroom. So I could play PEA in that spot. Just 4 vowels left out of 13 tiles. The floaters in N join are not particularly bingo-y. Even the N, the best of them, is not a great final tile in a bingo, so this board looks better than it actually is for bingos. Row A is good, but my opponent's recognised that and taken that lane out. Just the 1 tile in the bag. I'm looking around the board to see any bingo lanes I've overlooked. Maybe a bingo beanie with N, but I don't think there's anything other than Oedipian with this rack. So if there's only 1 tile in the bag, maybe I should be looking to play off a lot of tiles in the hope of being able to go out next go. So where can I play off a decent number of tiles? Well, let me hold that thought. Perhaps I can play stone down here for 30. I think I'll do that. Because I could be able to go out next go, and even if I can't, I've got a good opportunity for scoring with the P next to the O. That looks a pretty good 5-letter set. Can't immediately see somewhere to go out. What about column 7? Yes, I have Perai and Gare. So do I have a second out? What about onto the N? Well, that's Pania and Rapine, so neither of those plays. Can't see anything ending O or I, and I'm not seeing anything through the F. Can't see anything underneath Sirai, and there aren't 5 squares underneath any of the tiles in Siri. So at the moment I'm dependent on Perai and Gare. Great, just 17 points for my opponent, and my Perai spot remains available. So Perai for 13. And the final score, 342 for me, 405 for my opponent. A winning margin of 63 points, so well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go first. Horrible rack. Plays Bund. Wow, look at that. I played Wive, but I could have played Vinu, and that would have been a better play, keeping just the 2 consonants rather than 3 and scoring more. So my opponent had very consonant-heavy racks at the beginning of this game, and I was struggling with vowels. My opponent plays Kip. I thought about Damn, didn't like leaving an S lane in column 15. So I play Klem. Opponent plays Rep. And I play Blad, which I think is fine. Opponent has Dug, and he does have an S when he plays that. Now, I didn't like this rack, but look at this. I could have played Fitna and Cab, and that would have been 34 points. And Finnack also playable onto the C. I didn't see that. So definitely some better options than changing. Opponent plays Forza for 84. Now I have this rack and nothing over 20 points. So I play Cabana for 18. That looks fine. Opponent has cheese. And now I'm really struggling with vowels. So I play AUE for 12. G9. ENE, Klem and Blade. That would have been a better play, I think. Opponent's rack. He plays Nye. Wow, a bingo through the R. Enter 8. Gosh, I missed that. Instead I played Teen for 26. Gosh, quite a high probability bingo. Opponent plays Sogs. No, he plays Gar. And now I play Omit, but I think Moit probably a better play. Although it's putting a scoring tile over the bottom left-hand square, it's stopping a high-scoring tile going there. Opponent plays Ois. B14, Taxa. That would have been quite nice. I do something similar, but not quite as good, I think. Yeah, same score, but Taxa would have retained a consonant. Opponent plays Sog. Now I play AUE over to the right-hand side of the board, and I think EAU would have been a better play there. Opponent has Enjoins. Yes, he does, and he doesn't see it. He plays Enjoin for 63, but 20 fewer points. And now I have Ware Room, and I played that quite quickly. I thought I may have overlooked a bingo, but I didn't. Opponent plays Lay, and now my goose is cooked. I'm 100 points behind, and I'm not going to win the game from this position with this board and this rack. So I played Daft. B5. Fade. Yeah, but that's not creating a bingo lane. Opponent blocks the bingo lane I've created. And I play Stone, which I think is fine. Opponent plays Fitch. And finally Perai, the only out. So, a slightly frustrating game, but my opponent and I both had fairly unbalanced racks. But the issue with unbalanced racks is if your rack is unbalanced with 6 clunky consonants, you've still got scoring potential with some of those consonants. If your rack is vowel heavy, all of the vowels score 1 point, and it can be a struggle to score. Anyway, those situations happen all the time in Scrabble, so it's good to have the opportunity to wrestle with them. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.